Welcome everybody. My name is Dr. Corey Wren and I am a sociologist specializing in vegan studies, and I also am a feminist specializing in veganism and witchcraft. So one of the things I like to do, as you may know, is to try to blend these things. So I was a scientist and a feminist. It's kind of a weird fence to sit on, I suppose. So one of the things I like to do to kind of navigate the harder parts of being really imbrued in really horrible things about non-human animals, basically, I spend a lot of my days researching some really horrendous things, is to dabble in witchcraft. And that is, for me, quite secular. And for some people, it's super spiritual, super religious. But for me, as a sociologist also, in sociology, we're always paying attention to patterns and symbols and hidden meanings. And so witchcraft really does overlap with that quite a bit. So today I'm continuing a color magic series in candle witchcraft. So this is something that I think is probably the most approachable for beginners and also the easiest to maintain for people who've been doing it for a long time. Because candles tend to be relatively accessible and affordable. If you are living somewhere that you're not supposed to have open flames, there are of course alternatives to that. You can, you don't have to light the candle. It's still, a lot of times I don't like to light them anyway because I like to preserve them because they look really nice. But anyway, I'll talk more about that in another video on candle magic and veganism. But today I wanted to focus on the color blue, not just any blue, light blue, sky blue. They have different meanings depending on the color blue that you're looking at. So for light blue, this tends to have a correspondence to the celestial. This tends to also be, for those who are more of the Christian leaning, more of the angelic color. But basically the idea is we're looking at tranquility, transcendence. So as a vegan, when we are really feeling quite down about all of the animal cruelty and injustice that we're exposed to, I think that light blue is a very important and meaningful color, especially for vegan witches, vegan activists who are trying to practice more self-care. So light blue, I think, would be wonderful if you are just feeling you need a pick-me-up, you're feeling a bit down about some speciesism, or if you're currently working in vegan activism or animal advocacy, if you're putting on a campaign and you would like to honor non-human animals in a way that is more ritualistic. So I think that would be really nice if you're doing like a street demonstration, and really ground the energies, perhaps after doing a lot of whatever you're doing, like doing chanting or your microphone or your bullhorn or all that kind of stuff. I think it'd be nice also to end the protest or the campaigning with a ritual with perhaps using a blue candle. I think a blue candle is also very useful if you are dealing with the death or impending death or past death of a non-human animal in particular who's very special to you. So if you've lost a cat, for instance, or you have a cat or dog who's on the way out, which is a part of life, right? But it doesn't make it any easier. Lighting a blue candle will add some sense of tranquility into your space. Again, you don't need to actually light them. It's really just a color symbolism there. And I'm going by what I have always read and known about light blue, but obviously in other cultures, light blue might have different meanings. So just keeping that in mind. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't use it. Some other suggestions I have for a light blue candle, and you might want to recite something that's meaningful to you if you're into poetry, which is not really my bag, but a lot of my friends are into poetry and like to read a little poetry when do candle work. If you'd like to play a song, or just to meditate, or just have it there like I do when I'm working. But another suggestion I have for the candle is to add herbs to that. I'll have another video where I do that. I don't want to do it today and get my desk all messy, but What you can do is you take a specific oil, or perhaps just plain olive oil, or you can have a specific essential oil that has associated meanings, and you can rub it very lightly, because you don't want to create a firebomb, but very lightly, just to create a sticky surface. And then you can roll it or press on herbs so it sticks. It has to be done lightly. If you put too many herbs on it, you will destroy this candle, and it's extremely disappointing. I've done that in the past, but just enough to where you can see a little bit of sparks from the herbs, and it releases some of the smells from the herbs. Because these like generic spellcraft candles, the vegan ones, they aren't scented, because you want to add your own. Herbs I would suggest. I have two ways of doing this. I do it for aesthetic reasons, because again, looking at the color symbolism, but also you can look at for aromatherapy reasons. And herbalism will tell you some of the herbs that will help to make you feel relaxed. And also you can do some that have more just kind of pagan or witchy symbolism to them. The ones I've got here today, I've got 3 that I would recommend. Good old-fashioned lavender, which tends to be very accessible for most people. It's like having a giant jar of lavender is the best thing in the whole wide world. Oh. But yeah, you can crush that. You have to crush it to get the essential oils in it to release. But I like that one a lot. Another one that you may not expect is cornflower. And this one I've chosen because it has aromatherapy aspects, but also because it matches the candle, and it's just really, see, it's very sweet. They look very sweet together. And it's like a sharp, fruity flavor almost. It's hard to describe what this is, but it lasts you forever. I've had this ages. It's not really that fresh anymore, but even so, it smells very strongly, but very, very beautiful and edible, like lavender. So you shouldn't poison yourself should it find its way in your mouth. And another good classic standby that most people will be able to find is chamomile. It's my favorite thing to do, is just smelling what's going on in there. Yeah, so chamomile is a really good one. This one, it tends to break, if once you've had it for a while, it tends to separate a little bit. The center of the flower kind of breaks loose from the petals. The petals are probably the easier part that you can stick onto your candle. Now, I normally do not even do that, have oils on my candles and stick herbs to them, especially for the smaller ones, because it's difficult to get the ratio right where you're not going to be creating too many herbs and oils, and then your candle just burns down in 2 seconds. So I can't be fussed with that, but also I like the look of the flowers. So what I tend to do is just take a small dish and stick the candle on there. And the best way to do that, well, I don't know if it's the best way, it's the way I do it, is you light the bottom, the non-wick end, just for a second until a drop of wax drops down, and then you can use that drop of melted wax to stick your candle down. So once I do that, then I just take the flowers and herbs and crush them around for decoration, and they release some of the smells. So all of that, like, it took so much time just to explain it, but so you can imagine if you take your time and you're intentional with that process of choosing your herbs, choosing your candle, dressing your candle if you choose to, or dressing the dish that your candle's sitting in, that is all part of the ritual and can be very calming, and of course looking at it is quite soothing. If you have a prolonged situation, I would recommend not using one of the little dinky spell candles. These are meant for like a short-term thing. I think they only burn for about an hour, if that. I'd recommend instead getting a larger candle that have many more hours of burn time, so that could get more benefit out of it. So yeah, blue, beautiful baby blue, and using this for tranquility, celestial vibes, easing transition from life to death, and just overall peacefulness. Yeah. So I think for vegans, this is a really nice one to keep in our repertoire. So if you want to know more about magical vegan candle working, I recommend checking out some of my other videos, specifically the video I have on candle magic and veganism, because in that video I talk a little bit more generally about the role of candles and some specific things that vegans need to pay attention to that is not really acknowledged in the larger ecofeminist spirituality community or witchcraft community. So with that, light your blue candle, think good thoughts, pick some nice herbs, and I'll see you next time.